Hello, my beauties. How's everyone doing? If it's your first time here, my name is Zona Davani and I welcome you to my channel. Here we talk all things self-development, femininity, faith, beauty, style, you name it, we are on it. Please become part of this family if you are interested in any of those by simply hitting the subscribe button. And to my returning beauties, welcome back. It is lovely to see you again. On today's video, I'm sharing with you mindset changes that really transformed my life. Grab yourself a drink, coffee, tea, anything so that you can relax as we unpack these transformative mindset changes. For background, I am a mom of 3. I'm in my 30s and I feel like I'm in a really great place in my life. I've become more confident and just going for everything that I feel I deserve, which is a far cry from how I used to be in my mid-20s. I had issues like social anxiety and I did double in a lot of partying and excessive drinking, which resulted in a lot of emptiness and feeling like an underachiever. On today's video, I'm sharing with you all the different mindsets that I applied into my life that transformed me into a woman that I can be proud of. And for the fact that you even clicked on this video, it means we are on the same path. The first thing that I transformed about myself was making peace with the past mistakes I had made and how I was brought up. This takes a lot of work within oneself to just look back as a way to reflect, but refuse to be defined by those things, past mistakes, a different lifestyle that you maybe once lived, or just where you come from. This includes family dynamics and the economic status of where you come from. A lot of turmoil in our lives come from those things, and we tend to use it as an excuse. Though it may be valid because it is true you did go through those traumas, but after a while you need to put them aside, accept what you can't change because you cannot change. You cannot choose who you are born to, but you can accept that and move on with your life. Accepting all of these things and those past mistakes does not necessarily mean you are proud of them, but you acknowledge that they did contribute to the current person that you are. It is up to you to change that impact into something positive, sharing whatever stories that you feel comfortable sharing from that past does help you to also make peace with it. You are sharing things that you are comfortable with and with an intention of sharing a lesson from that, not out of regret. In the past, I really used to get sucked up by a mistake maybe that I had made in the previous week or a year ago or in my youth. However, once I started to change that, making peace with the past, I started to look forward to a future with a more positive outlook. The next mindset change that I made that transformed my life is knowing and accepting that everything happens for a reason. And whatever that reason is, I stand something positive to gain from this. This came after connecting very closely with that scripture that says God uses every situation that we find ourselves in for our favor. So whether it be a good or bad thing that happens, I know at the end of it, I stand to gain. Whether it's going to be a lesson or something to celebrate, I do definitely stand a chance of being a winner in the end. This helps me to take every challenge with a positive mindset of knowing that ultimately I am going to win at this. This next point is directly connected to that. Accepting Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior is one of the transformative decisions that I've made with my life. Finding a spiritual centering is a game changer. There is a lot of research around this when we talk about behavioral patterns for human beings. Being connected to a higher power than yourself does a lot to transform your life. Humans in general are always seeking something higher to connect to or looking into where we all come from. So I highly recommend finding that spiritual balance. doing all the work, not even just knowing of the existence of God, but putting in the work. In my case, putting in the work comes in the form of reading scripture, making time to worship and pray. That was the most important decision that really helped me transform my mind, because it also changes my thought patterns, knowing where I come from, knowing why I exist, and accepting that there is a purpose to my existence here really ultimately transformed how I view life in general. Up to so far, which one of these points can you really say you connect to? Please comment on the comment section down below. The next mindset change that really helped me transform my life was to actually take the time to identify my skills, because you can't really sell something that you are not fully aware of. Just taking the time to backtrack onto my life, what were the most innate gifts that I've always had before the social media, before consuming any kind of content. What are those things that have always piqued my interest? I took the time to think back to my childhood, my favorite hobbies, the kind of TV shows that I enjoyed, and it was clear as day. Knowing this helped shape my life, because I all of a sudden identified some greatness within me. You operate on a different level when you know what you are gifted in. Some of my gifts that I recognized was just the skill of having conversation. I was chatting with my husband about this. From an early age, some old people would even give me money, being shocked at how well I conversed. From as early as about 5 years old, I would talk about a lot of things, and I would listen to the news, current affairs shows, being interested. So I would chat about these old people, about politics, the weather, what is happening globally, and they would be shocked. This is something that I use to my advantage even today. I chat with people. I can chat with anyone from all walks of life. This is one of my gifts. And as I started to grow, I would collect pictures and create picture books. I've just always loved these things. I also got to learn how to do makeup and hair at an early age, and I can't even remember someone teaching me those things. But there is a gap in between where I was not operating in these gifts. So to transform my life, I went back and became more mindful of what I have to offer. That really did transform my life, because I started to operate from that place of knowing where I'm strong at and using all of that to my advantage. So if you are on this journey of transforming your life as well, I highly recommend taking your time to journal and just identify your gifts. Some you may be operating on now already, or it's things that you have dropped along the way. It's time to revisit those gifts and really operate in them. I learned as I was doing some research on the area of gifting. When God gives you a gift, He has capacitated everything about you to match that gift He has given you. If He has given you a skill or a gift to speak, He has fashioned everything about you, right down to your lungs, to be able to control your breathing, to deliver that speaking to the T. Please do share some of your gifts on my comment section as well. I would love to know what my beauties are gifted with. I stopped operating from a level of emotions. I used to be a really emotional person. If I want to go to the gym, I need to feel happy about it. I blame our society for this one, because we are always encouraged to stick to the things that make us happy. And to be quite honest with you, if I am to do everything that makes me happy, I would not be doing anything. Even now, I know taking an afternoon nap is something that makes me really happy, but I have work to do. So if I am going to be emotional about things, doing things when I feel like doing them, I'm going to suffer a lot. This one also affected the way I love. I started loving from that place of a fuzzy feeling, emotional giddiness place, but to a point of understanding how I'm being treated. This affects areas of my love life, but I made that decision now. That's solid from that place of being mindful. Also to the area of my friends. There are some people that just make us feel good. However, sometimes those people that make us feel good also can be toxic in our lives in other areas. It became really important for me to stop worrying about the emotions and sticking with the facts of whatever interactions that I make. There's a lot of things that don't make me happy, but understanding the actual fruit that comes out of it, doing it for that instead of the way it makes me feel. Things like waking up at midnight to pray don't make me happy. I don't like being interrupted from my sleep, but I understand the value of self-sacrifice to gain something. I stand a lot to gain from doing that. I built up on my discipline muscle. I also get to connect with God in a quiet time where there are no interruptions. So there's a lot of areas of my life that I do not operate from emotion, but fact, that actually have improved from this mindset. This also means being able to control how I express my feelings. I can be out in a store feeling angered by something that maybe the service provider did to me, but how I express that at that particular time will say a lot about me and my character. It is very difficult at most times to control our emotions or to not express them right at that moment, but I feel like I have a lot to gain from not operating from that. This affects all areas of my life: how I deal with clients, how I live my life, how I deal with colleagues. Just being able to not let my emotions control my life, operate from a place of maturity that will not have me saying things that I will later regret, or doing things that will put me in some kind of trouble or danger. Another mindset change that I made that changed my life is accepting that there is always a room for improvement. I used to think that everyone that's doing anything that I'm interested in was just like that. They were just perfect. But I got to understand that for everyone, we all start somewhere and we improve from somewhere. It is a very limiting mindset to think that you will get to a point where you don't have to polish up on anything. This can be your skill or your character as well. I transformed myself by always being open to improving, to getting better at everything, seeking out the help, going in for training, and always being open to the idea that things may change and I may have to up my game. Thinking that you are at the top level is equally dangerous as thinking that you are horribly failing at anything. At both of these stages, be open to learning. As a beginner, be open to learning, and as someone who thinks that they are at the top of their game, it's always important to learn and improve on yourself. I changed my mind when it comes to money. I started to monetize every gift that I have the opportunity to monetize. Monetizing your skills and gifts is a game changer. I never saw much into my skills to do makeup and hair or to speak seriously. But once I took the time to actually think about it mindfully, I developed a business plan which I executed and started to gain from those skills. I had been doing a lot of makeup on friends, family, people that I don't even know. And when it's time to talk about money, I would say, you can give me whatever. I never took it seriously. But once I decided to take that seriously, I saw a transformation in my life financially and just building up on myself, the confidence, and I actually have bigger future plans with that particular skill set. I needed to be mindful about it. I needed to transform my mind, how I view it, to actually get it to work in my favor and improve many areas of my life. So, sis, don't be shy to monetize those gifts that you have. I'm using my skill to be able to speak to people, to connect with people right here, right now, which is something that does not only give me value for money, but also helps in improving my life. When we talk about identifying those gifts and monetizing them, also remember that you can use these skills and gifts to enrich other people's lives as well, not just selfishly to yourself. Another way I completely transformed my life was taking full control of who becomes a part of my circle. This one was so difficult because I'm naturally a friendly person who's easy to get along with. I would always end up with people messing up with me and not even knowing how I became friends with those people because we are from completely different walks of life. I have talked about this when I talked about people pleasing. When I started to be more careful of who I let into my life, I believe I have prevented myself from a lot of betrayals. This is a difficult one for many people to apply because you have to be firm. You may easily come across as being cold. However, you are looking out for number one here. You can't be friends with the whole world. So it's important to have a clear understanding of the kind of people that you want in life. I look at the values and the character of a person. Also, just creating different levels of access for people into your life. It's okay to have multiple acquaintances, but your close circle needs to be monitored because these are people that you're most likely to share your fears with, your disappointments, and if you do not watch that carefully, they may use these against you. You also want people that are of great values that you can take positive correction from. Now, if you have people that have questionable values, then you won't have anyone to help correct you in your own journey. And honestly, no man is an island. But sometimes we do need correction, even in times when we think we are doing the right thing. For me, this one, it needs to be people that are on the same value system, on the same faith as me, so that we can correct each other with that guiding us. Obviously, when it comes to life decision making, it all boils down to yourself. However, the influences that are in your life will affect the final decision that you make. Another mindset change that transformed my life was thinking that everything that I need to do needs to be perfect. This put me under so much pressure and held me back from starting a lot of things. I always wanted to have a YouTube channel. I've always felt like I could connect with a lot of women like we are connecting now, but I always wanted to wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect camera, perfect equipment, the perfect everything. There probably will never be the perfect time to start. I will not have everything on lock before I can start anything. I started to do everything from the point I was at. This has affected my life in many different areas. We could be talking about a healthy lifestyle, diet and all that. Waiting to have the perfect grocery list to start my venting, waiting for a Monday to start, waiting for the first day of the month to start. That because that is deemed to be the perfect time. I changed all of that. If I want to change anything about my life, if I want to start anything, I'll start right at that moment. When it comes to eating healthier, it is the perfect time to start any time of day. Even if you started with amakunya or whatever toast, and you decide just before lunchtime that this is now, I'm starting my healthy journey. That may not be the perfect time in terms of the normal standards, but starting because you have thought of it is the right time. Going for that run in the afternoon, even if it's not in the morning, is the perfect time. Starting that YouTube channel with just your iPhone, like I did and many people do, is the right time. I know a lot of cynical people will say, well, you are just saying that on any of these areas that I talked about. But sis, it is not a lie. Not so many people can talk about something and it's a lie. You know, with a business idea, just starting and not waiting for the perfect time or the perfect equipment is something that you will always look back to and appreciate and be proud of. And with that point, we have reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and comment with any other areas you want us to cover on the channel for our next video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next video. I love you. God bless you.